So today is January 22nd. For the first 21 days of the month, I ran a mile every day. Today I came out and ran 2. So now, maybe every other run, for the first week I'll try, do 2 miles twice in a week. And then I'll keep that up for a little while until it feels okay. And then I'll do maybe 2 miles 3 times a week. And then the days that I'm not running 2 miles, I'll run 1. But the goal here is to slowly rebuild the base and to be flexible in my schedule, but never push myself too far. And, the more I build that base, the quicker I can get back to the marathon starting line. So this is kind of a midweek progress report. I got a little wild hair in my area and decided to run 2 miles instead of 1. It felt good. And so today I'll walk 2 miles and run 2 miles. And every day this year, I've been over 10,000 steps, and a lot of times I'm close to 12,000. So just watching that progress and making sure those steps are right, making sure my body feels healthy. And I'm also testing something new that I've never done before. I'll talk about that in a future video, but that's where it's at. It is Wednesday. Hope y'all are having a good week. Hey there, it's Aaron, Road to Redemption. So I started reading a book, and ironically a book that I've been looking at for years. Long time ago, I first saw this book. It's like, oh, I should read that. And one of those books you see every couple of years, oh, I should read that. You never get around to read it. I read a lot of books, and I enjoy reading. I listen to a lot of audiobooks, love audiobooks. So the other day comes up in like Audible, I'm looking at it, and it's called Born to Run. It's a crazy story about essentially a tribe of Mexican Indians that live in the Copper Canyon of Chihuahua State in Mexico. And it's a real remote area. And for a long time it was untouched. I'm sure that's changing now. But essentially, these people would run 30, 40 miles through the mountains with just rubber soles tied to their feet. And then they would just go about their business. Like, they would have to run somewhere to do something. And it was just no big deal. And so, somewhere along the line, some gringos caught wind of this and were like fascinated by it. And so they went down there. They ended up getting some of these guys to compete in ultras. And then there's, after these guys compete in an ultra, one of the pacers in an ultra up in the mountains in like Leadville, Colorado, was pacing one of the Tarahumara runners, and he ended up kind of just falling in love with the people, the culture, the way that they felt about running. So then he collected like a bunch of winter coats, scooted butt down to Mexico, and went out and kind of lived in the most remote area and just kind of learned to live like they did and ran everywhere. I guess his nickname was Caballo Blanco. It's like the white horse. And Caballo Blanco, yeah, that's it. But my Spanish is horrible, by the way. But I guess his real name was like Micah True, or maybe that was his dog's name. It's confusing in the story. And I'm not all the way through the book yet. But fascinating tale. And one of the things that's fascinating in there is the question of our modern day running shoes causing injury. when some of the world's best runners, like native runners, run typically with just a thin strip of rubber underneath their feet, and no arch support systems and all this other crazy stuff. And I've run with a support shoe, so this is all new to me, but I'm starting to test it here and there around my house. And I'm testing Zero shoes, and I'm gonna see how it turns out. But I'll show you the shoes here shortly, and I'm just kind of starting my testing. Like, this isn't something you could just throw on these shoes and go out and run a mile. You kind of got to break your feet into it, because essentially you've taken all the muscles out of your feet throughout your life, right? And so yeah, that's something exciting. And the stories, the running stories in this book are absolutely incredible. You get a lot of like the early craziness of ultra marathons. It's just very inspirational stuff. Some of the hippie lunatics, the way that they ran, the carefree way that they ran, and kind of the way that they partied and just lived and played hard. Very interesting stories. And I've read some books on ultra before. I've read Dean Karnazes' book, which was highly entertaining. But yeah, so I'm reading that book now and testing out Zero shoes. The book is called Born to Run. They came out with a second edition of it. I'll finish the first edition and then start the second one. But yeah, some very fascinating stuff on there that I'll be talking more about in the future. And I'll probably be doing little segments on running history, just different runners that I find fascinating and inspirational that I'd like to share with everyone else. So that's it. It's the road to redemption. Out here doing my thing. Y'all be cool.